Good evening, beloved children. This is your Zarina Consciousness, and we are delighted, as always, to be here, pulled in by your beautiful magnetism and your true north, your beautiful guiding light that is our guiding light as well. Well, we know that we have somebody who is very eager to speak. And without further ado, we will withdraw and allow herself, Reverend Gladdy, to come in and chat with all of us for a while. And so we withdraw. Well, thank you, Zarina, and good evening, lovely ladies. And it is just a delight to be here. And yes, your channel is absolutely right. I was there with her, humming along, doing the work, continuing to act as a divine medium. And it was my pleasure to do so. And that was very interesting because at the end of that day, as your channel was feeling starved for ice cream, I realized, oh my heavens, I've dropped into her body so far, and now she's craving ice cream, which was my earthly craving. So I managed to pull out just a little bit and reduce that craving on her behalf. But what I really wanted to talk to you about was something that happened during one of her sessions, and it sets the theme for tonight. And the theme for tonight is that nothing is ever really lost. Everything is always on the way to being found. And so when your channel was in light trance, in service for this particular woman that she was in service to, I brought her and the woman's team brought to your channel a very vivid impression of a woolly mammoth. And along with this impression of the woolly mammoth was the incredible gratitude that the woolly mammoth had for the woman that your channel was serving. Deep, deep gratitude. And I believe the woolly mammoth was using words like undying gratitude. I owe you a debt of undying gratitude because you are caring to see me, because you are looking at me, because you haven't forgotten me, because you care about me, because you are paying attention to me. These were the words that this beautiful, dear soul, this woolly mammoth, was speaking to this woman while your channel was in trance. And I was there and helping to hold space for this communication. And then when your channel came out of trance, the woman was visibly shaken and explained that in her work, she is in the midst of writing up a patent for a company that is working on collecting the genetic material of the woolly mammoth in such a way that that woolly mammoth could be brought back from extinction. And not just the woolly mammoth, you see, but many, many other animals that have gone extinct. And the woman was, of course, very, very moved. And it was a beautiful, beautiful event for all of us, really. For your channel, it was very important, but it was obviously very important for the woman to hear firsthand from the woolly mammoth, from soul of woolly mammoth, saying, oh, I'm so grateful to you because you care about me, because you're thinking about me. I owe you a debt of gratitude. And for the woman, yes, to know that the work that she's involved in is very important. And for all of us that were present. So I was there, Master Teacher Emmanuel was there, Lady Nada was there, All of your channels, angels and teachers and guides were there. Woolly Mammoth was there, of course, and the woman's angels and teachers and guides. And then a parade of so many creatures that have supposedly gone into extinction, that have been lost. A parade of all of these creatures. It was like, oh, it was like being a part of Noah's Ark and seeing every single creature that had ever come into existence and then been lost, coming forward to say, thank you. Thank you for not forgetting about me. Thank you for caring. And of course, it's wonderful news, isn't it, about the woolly mammoth. It's wonderful news that there is consciousness on your planet that cares deeply that nothing ever be lost, that that which we consider to be extinct or gone forever or disappeared over the horizon, that no, not in loving consciousness, nothing is ever lost. And this is so true, my dearly beloved friends. Nothing is ever lost. Nothing. Of course, you know this from your study of evolution and of everlasting life, that life itself is never lost. It changes, it evolves, but it is never, ever lost. Well, I want to stop right there because I am feeling as though the master teacher, Yeshua, would like to come in and speak a little bit. I've checked in with Serena and asked, may I just zip out and let the master teacher step in? And Serena has said, why, of course. And so let me just step to the side now as our beloved master teacher, Yeshua, comes forward. Well, good evening, my dear, dear sisters. What a delight to be here with you and in the company of so many dear angels, so many loving companions. Of course, I talked about this in my earth ministry. I told stories of the lost sheep and the lost coin, and then the lost son, the son that was lost. And in every single instance, how the sheep that was found, the coin that was found, and the son that was found. And the sense of loving consciousness stopping at stopping at nothing to go and find that which appears to be lost and bring it back into that realm of joyful discovery. And so things appear to be lost. It appears that we lose an income or lose our focus. It appears that we lose a job or we lose a relationship. It appears that a species, a whole species, a whole magnificent species disappears over the horizon. It appears that we lose democracy. It appears that we lose civility. It appears that we lose so many things and energies and situations. And yet, nothing is ever really lost. Everyone and everything is always on their way towards being found. One of the ways I know that some of you find useful to think about that which appears to be lost is the idea in your modern physics that an electron can appear and then disappear and then reappear. And you, in your understanding, understand this, that things are always moving between dimensions. Something will show up in the third dimension and then shift over into the fourth dimension. Where is it gone? Is it lost? No, it's just changed shape. In just a matter of time, it will come back into the third dimension. Nothing is ever lost. Everything and everyone is on its way towards being found. This is a beautiful thing to know, not only about the love, the power of love that drives the universe, that truly the divine loving consciousness that you call source, that I called Father or Papa or Abba, but this loving source would never throw anyone or anything away, would never cast anyone or anything away, would never drive anyone or anything into extinction, but that everyone and everything would be held as precious and meaningful. And perhaps in the intelligence of all living things, there is a sense of, let us move to the side for a time. Let us take ourselves out of this picture for a time until the circumstances are right and we can move back into third dimension. And indeed, that is what is happening with woolly mammoth. Woolly mammoth, this beautiful, beautiful creature, never really wanted to be gone forever. She never wanted to be extinct. She knew that she was a traveler, but never a lost traveler, always a creature on her way back to being found and coming back at a time when humanity is looking for itself, its true self, a self that was never lost, but is on its way towards being found. You yourselves experience this many times, and your joy guides have a lot of fun with you, shifting things around, making it seem as though you lost a pen or you lost a ring, you lost something very precious. But eventually, all of these things are always found. Sometimes they're found in the fourth dimension, it's true, but always, always, they are found. As I stand with you, and as you consider those dear ones around you who look as though they are being disappeared, people being pulled off the street, it grieves my heart, as I know it grieves yours. People being sent away and never heard from. This is something else I have come to speak to you about, my dear hearts. Now is the time to affirm. No one is ever lost. No one is ever disappeared. Everyone is on their way towards being found. All of these dear souls that appear to be lost, that have been taken in such a savage, brutal, unkind way, all of them are on their way towards being found. Whether you will be alive in your physical bodies when they return, we do not know. But what we do know is that they will all come home, every single one of them. Every single one of them. There is an expression that was alive on your planet, oh, maybe 30 or 40 years ago, the home bringing mission of Jesus Christ. It was a particular community, a group of people who had heard a piece of my teaching and decided to expand upon it, the idea of bringing everybody home. In this home bringing mission, however, there was a mistaken belief that only some would be brought home. that some would be taken and others would remain. This is still a belief in many of your Christian churches. Some will be taken, others will remain. It is what they call, I believe, the rapture. It is a mistaken belief. I say this with great love and humility, compassion and kindness, for no one is ever left behind. Oftentimes, there is a shift in consciousness, and there is a movement in consciousness. And this is happening, and this will happen. But everyone and everything will return home. Of this you have my pledge, my promise. I stand by this. This is my true mission, to make sure that nobody felt excluded from home, from that sense of belonging, of coming into themselves. And that mission is something that I see each and every one of you prizing and bringing forward as you lean into every single corner of your consciousness and alchemize and call home all those reactive parts of your being, the parts of your being that are still behaving in the old eye for eye, tooth for tooth history. Yes, they are still behaving like that, but you are calling them home. You are calling those old aspects of you home. You are alchemizing these aspects of you. You are bringing them all home. I'm going to step aside, and I know that Woolly Mammoth would like to come in and speak because she has some things that she would like to say. I may be back later on after Woolly Mammoth has spoken. For now, I am going to sit at your feet, and I am going to lace and unlace your shoes so that you can fully comprehend all that Woolly Mammoth has to say. And I have asked Zarina, may I just pop out and invite Woolly Mammoth in? And Zarina has said yes. And I step aside. Good evening, dear souls. I am Woolly Mammoth. I am so delighted to be here. As I expressed through this channel several Earth days ago, I am indeed so grateful, so very grateful that I have not gone unnoticed, that I have not been forgotten, and that there are human beings, human beings who in their higher consciousness have devoted themselves to collecting little bits of my DNA and gathering me, all those parts of me that I worried would never ever resurface again, gathering me from all these places and bringing me back together again. Have you any idea what this feels like after so many thousands of years, to know that you are being brought back to life, that you are not extinct, that you have not disappeared, that you were indeed always on your way to being found? Now, I know from human considerations, I was a rather odd-looking creature. I was big, and I had those huge tusks. I look somewhat like your modern-day elephant, but I was my own creature. I was, in many ways, the grandparent of your elephant. But it is very important that I come back to oversee not only my grandchildren, the elephant, but to oversee this delicate ecosystem of your planet, to come back, to bring my wisdom in. Indeed, there will come a time somewhere in your future, once all of my DNA has been collected and I have been, in your words, resurrected and brought back to life, there will come a time when I will be able to communicate with you Earth scientists what it was that drove me to extinction and what it was that brings me back. In this way, I am here to help you, humans, for you to know that you need not drive yourself to extinction. And well, may you ask, are there dinosaurs? Are there birds? Are there tiny little creatures? Who else is coming back? Well, I am not privy to all of that information. I have been told that I am one of the first, and that after me, a beautiful Noah's Ark is beginning all over again, and that Earth is beginning all over again. I wanted you to know this now, while you are in the midst of so much transition, and while it appears that you are losing so much. And indeed, you are. There is truth to this. You are losing rainforests. Your polar caps are melting. You have enormous changes in your weather systems that will come. Yes, this is true. I say this not to frighten you. I say this to prepare you for the knowing that nothing is ever lost, that everyone and everything is always on its way to being found. And just as this little group of human beings decided with full and loving hearts that I was worthy of attention, can you feel then into the heart of the universe, the divine heart of the universe, what you call creator? Can you feel into that source of love and feel how every single aspect of life is deemed precious and wonderful and beautiful and never to be trampled under, never to be disappeared, always on its way to being found? I am grateful because in your consciousness, you are all making decisions about what is necessary, what is precious, and you are ready to find yourself once again. Indeed, we are in this journey of discovery, of finding ourselves together, are we not? We are journeying neck and neck. It's hard to compare my massive trunk to your tiny, delicate shoulders, but if you can, try to see it that way. I am journeying with you. Nothing is ever, ever gone forever. Everything is on its way back to being found. And so I, Woolly Mammoth, are now going to pull off into the background. And I believe the one you call your group soul, your Zarina consciousness, is coming to the fore. Yes, this is your Zarina consciousness, and we are so grateful for Reverend Gladdy and our master teacher, Yeshua, and for our dear, loving companion, Woolly Mammoth. herself for coming in and speaking. We have another collective of teachers that are coming in to speak. They are calling themselves the Gaia Collective, and they are here to speak from the very core of your planet to help you to prepare us all for what to expect in the coming years. And so we will step aside and allow the Gaia Collective to come forward. Good evening, dear ones, and good morning, dear ones. We understand that while it is evening, where some of you are, it is morning, it is twilight, it is the beginning of another day on other parts of your planet. We are speaking to the planet as a whole. We are a collective of Gaia consciousness. We are a collective of divine energies that represents and communicates from the very core of this planet that you call Earth, this living being. So often you call Mother. Mother is very appropriate, for Mother we are. We have birthed you, we have housed you, we have fed you, we have grown you, we have educated you, we have evolved you, but not just you, beloved children, but as you know, woolly mammoth and dinosaur and so many others we have brought to life, sheltered, given wing and feather to, given fin to, and helped evolve along the way. And now we are coming to a time in your beautiful planet where there comes what we will call the winnowing, a time of great decision. Yes, a time of upheaval, we will not sugarcoat that. A time when the weather patterns will continue to be extreme, more and more extreme weather patterns. And the task at hand, beloved children, is not to sink and not to despair, not to berate yourselves. We understand that many of you are doing your best to hold this fragile ecology together. No, my dears, the task at hand in order to prepare for the upheaval of more extreme temperatures, the task at hand is to continue to thin your egos, to continue to thin the egos and make sure that your egos are nice and pliable and flexible. Flexibility is a word that we would love to bring in to use to nurture you. If you all would join with us in imagining your egos as incredibly soft, like beautiful, beautiful, almost like jellyfish. Can you imagine that? So nice and soft and easy and clear and flexible and able to move and change and shift. This is what is called upon. And this is also what creates the great winnowing. There will come for many on the earth plane a fragility of egos that are too brittle, egos that cannot withstand the coming pressures, the coming storms, if you will, egos that will need to take a break and step aside, egos that will simply disappear, in other words. There will come a feeling of, wow, where did so-and-so go? It will be a time of leavening, a time of winnowing, a time in which those egos that are flexible will remain. Those egos which are not flexible, which are simply too brittle, which will move into extinction and wait for another time when it will be more feasible for them to come forward and keep learning on planet Earth. You who are here in this Zoom room, and all of those of you who listen to this recording and think about these words, you are in possession of egos that are flexible. You will remain. You will stay here on this earth. You are not being caught up into any kind of rapture or moved off of the planet. You will remain and you will continue to be flexible, and you will continue to shine your light, and you will continue to be a healing balm to this planet. And we will continue to inspire you to use your resources to heal that which is calling to be healed. You will remain. Many others whose egos are just too brittle will move into what looks like extinction, but they will not be lost forever. Bear in mind the beautiful lesson of the woolly mammoth. She herself had to take herself down a pattern of extinction. She knew this. She knew that she was on that winnowing path and that there was something in her nature that was just too brittle for the changing of the earth. But what did she do? She waited until the time that she knew she would be collected and brought back. Know this about all those egos that are too brittle to withstand the coming pressures. They are not gone forever. They are not disappeared. It is simply that they are too fragile, and they will move into a place of protection until such a time when conditions are nice and stable on this planet. And all of them will come forth and pick up their school books and re-enter their classroom and keep evolving. You are the ones who will serve as the bridge. Do you feel how important it is to keep working with your egos, to keep making them soft and pliant and flexible? Now, dear ones, we say this not to frighten you. We say this not to bring you harm. We say this to assure you that where you are in your current state of consciousness is a place of remarkable safety. The softness of your ego is what keeps you safe. And so, keep working on your softness. Keep calling forth that which needs to be alchemized. By doing this, you make yourself a place of remarkable safety, and you are a part of what the master teacher called the home bringing mission, making sure that everyone and everything comes home. Thank you for giving us the space to speak to you. We are going to step aside. And we know that your master teacher, Lady Nada, would like to come forward. My dear sisters, bless you. I am standing with you and giving thanks to all of these energies that have spoken. Well, I know that what the collective, what the Gaia collective had to say may disturb you a little bit. Remember the words of the Gospel of Thomas, that there is for every seeker a finding, and that finding disturbs, and that disturbance sets that seeker free. If you feel disturbed by the Gaia Collective's prophecy, hold on to the knowing that the disturbance sets you free. It is that very disturbance which will keep you alive to that which still needs work in your soul. It will keep your soul on the quickening path. It will help you to facilitate a dialogue with your ego that is kind, that is compassionate, and that keeps that ego very, very soft. I am quite familiar with your earth plane, you know. I have been here forever. I just laugh when I think of how many eons I've been here. I've been here for the changing of continents. I was here when Atlantis was around. I was here for the Lemurian continent. I was here before Pangea. I was here in so many other shapes and times for your planet. Sisters, I've seen it all. I really have. I've seen it all. I've seen continents come, I've seen them go. I've seen floods, I've seen fires. I've seen it all. I've seen every creature that you can imagine come forward and move into extinction and then come forward again. I have seen it all. And I'm here to tell you, my dear, dear sisters, that when I look at you, when I see you, I have that very rare privilege of knowing that I am looking at the dawn of humankind, not the end of humankind, but the dawn of humankind. You are the insensate collective of light that was long ago promised, and now you are here. You are what people ages ago called the second coming of Christ, and now you are here. When I look at you, I have a feeling of each and every one of you is a house that is secure. None of your souls are houses that are built on sand, you know. None of you. So be assured, and at the same time, buckle your seatbelt. There will be some bumps. I will not lie to you about that. There will be some bumps along the way. Remember that your task is to keep your ego very soft, very flexible, and keep asking yourself a very beautiful question. The question is, how far can I love today? How far can I love? And how yielding can I be in my love today? This weaves a golden tapestry that takes care of you and keeps you in what the psalmist called the house of God forever and ever. Amen. Be not afraid. Worry not. You have been doing your homework all along. That is your protection. Keep up the good work. Never fear. And I withdraw. And this is Serena, your group consciousness. And we are being guided to hold hands etherically. and to know that the master teacher is gently, gently untying our shoelaces, taking our earth shoes off, removing our former understanding, and that we are allowing him to do so. Give yourselves permission right now to allow the master teacher to take your shoes off, to remove the former understanding. Give yourselves permission to feel that as the master teacher does this, that he himself is taking his shoes off, removing his former understanding, and that we all now are standing barefoot upon this beautiful planet, and that the Gaia collective is working within us to foment a new understanding, a new pair of shoes, shoes that feel with every single step how beautiful this planet is, how sentient she is. Shoes that transport you over the waves, over the choppy waters. Shoes that protect you from the fire. Shoes that enable you to navigate through the winds of conflict so that you always feel secure upon this planet, so that you always are aware of your true north. These are the shoes that we are being given. All of us are being given new shoes, new understanding. Let us feel into these shoes, how beautiful and peaceful they are, how loving they are, how comfortable they are, how secure they make us feel. Let us feel in these shoes the blessed assurance that these shoes are tailor-made for each and every one of us as individuals. Let us feel into these shoes the gratitude of knowing that we can never be lost. We can never be lost. That we are always on the way of finding. And that as the precious jewels that we are, as the precious sheep and coin and children that we are, that we belong in the very, very heart of the universe, and we will never be cast out. And that we are foreigners no more, none of us. We are no longer strangers. We are all at home, all here together. This is the promise of these new shoes, this new beginning. And bless you. And namaste. And beloveds, it is time to very slowly begin to bring yourselves forward. Begin by acknowledging that you have toes which you can wiggle and fingers that you can wiggle. Acknowledge that every single hair is hair of the head numbered. Acknowledge that your eyelashes are precious. Acknowledge that this earth body that you are now living in is a beautiful, miraculous demonstration of the fact that while you may have disappeared in fourth dimension for a while, you came back. You came back and you are here again, that you have never been lost, that you are always being found. And now find your body and reclaim it. And now find your waking consciousness and reclaim it. And now bring yourself back to that clear knowing that you are here for a purpose and that all is well. And namaste.